Welcome into the season finale of Nighttime, everybody. I'm your host, Patrick Previty. Alongside me is Matthew Bracker, per usual. It's been a wild ride. Ready for the last dance?
I am. We're going to do this like Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman, because I'm definitely not Scotty, and I have a questionable history in Las Vegas.
Let's do it. Week 12 of college football is taking us down the home stretch to a 12-team playoff, starting with last week's game of the week. Let's go around college football one more time. It's Tennessee, Georgia Bulldogs, 8.5-point favorites in this game, and Carson Beck showing the world why early. Vols would give up the early 10-point lead. Beck ended the day with 347 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Most importantly, 0 interceptions, breaking the Cavender curse. Georgia wins 31-17, moves up to 10 in the CFP rankings. Oregon going on the road to play Wisconsin, number 1 team. In a bit of trouble here, down 7, and they get their first touchdown a couple minutes into the fourth. Jordan James with the score. Ducks would tack on a field goal late, but a surprise fake field goal would give the Badgers the ball with a chance to score. Tipped at the line, the dreams deflate. Ducks remain on top of the college football world. BYU Kansas starting in the first quarter. BYU only sends out 10 men on this play. Not a recipe for success, Matthew. Jayhawks punch it in early, and they would take the lead, and they would not look back. Later on, one final chance. It's short of the sticks. BYU still controls their own destiny, but I think everybody is feeling like this fan.
Yeah, he looks miserable. Hey, tell you who else is miserable. Watch this. Washington State, New Mexico. Lobos are up 21-7, but they're going to air it out deep. And how did Caleb Medford get this wide open? I can't believe it. Onslaught by New Mexico, but Washington State, they're going to take the lead in the third, but not for long. Turn on the Jets, kid. You are gone. Runs right by him. Eli Sanders takes the lead right back. Do you like lead changes, Pat? Good, because John Mattier slings this one to Kyle Williams, and it's going to be a leaping catch in the end zone. Pac-12 after dark giving us what we need, but great clock management here from New Mexico. It's going to seal this one, and they complete the upset 32-35. Now it's time to head over to the swamp. Tigers, Gators. Lagway, Billy Napier's boy, he's going to evade pressure in the pocket, and he will throw a dime. Elijah Badger, get off me, little boy. He'll set him up with a goal line score. Fourth quarter now. Talk about sealing the game. Jaden Bow with the carry, running past all of them, and he's going to go all the way. 55-yard touchdown, and Florida buries LSU's extremely slim playoff chances. Big win for Billy, huh? Gators win 27-16, but hey, let's keep it in the SEC. Mizzou and South Carolina, time for a 2-minute drill. Tigers down, but not for long. What a catch by Luther Burden III. Gets past his defender and gets right into the end zone. First passing touchdown of the day. Rushing attack was a big story in this one, and it's going to be Jamal Roberts on the 2-point conversion. Tigers will tie it. Gamecocks now. Sellers is going to pitch it to Sanders, runs right up the middle and runs through Mizzou. Get off me! Raheem Sanders is a big man, and he will put South Carolina up top. They're going to take this one 34-30. All these score changes are giving me trust issues, huh, Pat?
Definitely been there before, Matthew. Next up, Louisville, Stanford. Cardinals versus Cardinal. Ivy of the West down 7 until this touchdown catch by Emmett Mosley, the 5th. 13 catches, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day. Wow. They get the ball back, still in regulation after forcing a turnover on downs. Check out the sideline after this. A lot of extracurricular. Tayon Holloway can't do that.
Come on.
And then it's Quincy Riley offsides on this field goal attempt. Now it turns into a 52-yarder, and it's going to be Emmett Kinney for the win.
Boom!
38-35, Trees knock them down. Pitt Clemson up next after 8 sacks and 2 forced turnovers. This was a wild game. Tigers lose the lead for the first time all day with 1.5 minutes. Who would have thought? But it's Klubnik on the 2-minute drill, sealing the deal from 50 yards out, delivering the win on the ground. He led Clemson in rushing yards with 41.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. Next up, it's FIU. J-State Gamecocks making their second appearance on Nighttime. Tyler Huff with his only passing touchdown of the day. Good time for that. Sean Brown with his only catch of the time.
Make the most.
Catch of the day. Good time for that. FIU would respond with a reverse, and it's hotel room service to the end zone. But then, after this play, it is going to be Trey Stewart for the Gamecocks, because this was absolutely absurd of a game. Give me everything tonight. For all we know, we might not get tomorrow. Let's do it tonight.
We're not singers.
Pitbull University loses by 3, though. Not a happy ending.
No, but forget them. It's time for the battle of the century. Sam Houston, Kennesaw State. Natty preview? Kennesaw State is going to tie it in the final 30. We are going to overtime. Look at this catch. Ooh. Owls to win the game, but he's going to miss it. Give me your scholarship, kid. You don't deserve that. Bearcats, now they got a chance, and they're going to take it. Quarterback is going to carry on the keeper, and he is going to truck him for the win. He's what KJ Jefferson wishes he was. Sam Houston wins it 23-17. Game of the year.
Hopefully somebody told him he scored this touchdown after.
Yeah, he is down. He's dead. He's dead on the field.
But anyways,
but let's talk about the Big 12, right? Colorado and Utah. Super senior Cam Rising out for the season. I think he's going to get another year of eligibility. So it's Isaac Wilson, Zach's little brother, and he is going to throw this ball, but it's going to get tipped and picked off by Travis Hunter, the dual threat receiver, corner. He's apparently in the Heisman race, I guess, and he's going to, yeah, so I've heard. So he's going to try to prove it here by posing? I don't know. Whatever. 49-24, but hey, here's a Heisman winner here. Boise State and San Jose State. Michael Myers is going to get it on the handoff, and he is going to take it and fly. Another amazing game by Ashton Jeanty. Stiff arm, get off me. Jeanty in the end zone, 3 touchdowns on the day. Got to think he's the favorite now that Cam Ward took a loss, huh?
Definitely agree. Arizona State, K-State, Sun Devils on the board first. Jordan Tyson with 12 receptions, 173 yards, and accounted for both of the scores we're about to see. Did lose a fumble, but Kansas State unranked now. May the Wildcats fly high, because I'm old enough to remember at one point in the season when they were playoff bound.
Big 12 was wide open.
Wide open.
Yeah. But here we go. Owls and Owls. There can only be one. Owls get to the goal line and get in, but they are going to need a 2-point conversion, and they're going to pull it off. Philly special here for the Owls. And the Owls are headed to overtime against the Owls. But it's the Owls in owl time, and this owl kills an owl on the field. Oh my goodness. That'll set up an Owl field goal, and it is good. Owls beat the Owls 18-15, and both of these head coaches got fired after this one.
Can't trust your job in this economy right now. Tulane Navy, we go. Green Wave on the board first, and the only team that would get on the board in this game. Tulane with 220 rush yards. Navy with only 13 passing yards. Tulane on the way to the AAC championship.
Navy's fall from grace needs to be studied, but final game, Liberty UMass 34-34 in overtime. And Patrick, why am I showing you a field goal? Because it's a game winner. Do you believe? They tried to distract him with Larry David, I guess, but that was always going in, and that will do it for our Around College Football. Hey, I had to go out with a bang, huh? Hope you got some popcorn there. And very fitting we ended on a field goal. That was one of our favorite bits this season.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Do you believe?
Now, yeah, do you believe? Now we welcome in Justin Barnes and Andrew Gregg. We're going to be talking about conference champion winners for every conference in college football, or every one that really matters.
Yeah,
Excuse me, not every single conference. ACC, Big 10, Big 12, SEC. We're going to start with the ACC. We're going to start with Justin. Thank you both for showing up. Who is your pick to win the ACC?
I have none other than the FSU Seminoles. No, I'm kidding. I have Miami. I think that's a no-brainer. They've kind of reached an insurmountable lead in the ACC, so I have them.
Yeah, I also have Miami for maybe different reasons, but I think SMU can definitely give them a challenge in the ACC championship game. But I think Clemson's a little bit too far out of the reach for the ACC championship. Miami is going to win their final 2 games and then also take the ACC championship.
Yeah.
If you had asked me this 3 weeks ago, actually, I think we did ask ourselves this 3 weeks ago. I said Clemson. I really thought that they were on their way. I thought they were on a collision course with Miami. That's just not the case. Even though Miami dropped, obviously, a game in the ACC, that doesn't really deter me from picking them as well. I think they're the clear favorites. SMU is coming.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
They're ahead of BYU too, even though they lost.
Yeah.
But
It was a tough choice for me, honestly, because and I've been the Miami Glazer all season. Like, honestly, I love Cam Ward. I think he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. But SMU does look really good, but the graphics spoiled it. I got Miami. I think that they'll pull it off.
Continuing on with bracketology, going to the Big Ten now. Justin, who do you got?
I have Oregon. They had a rough start to the year, but Dylan Gabriel really pulled it around, and I obviously, big Dylan Gabriel fan, got to root for him here at nighttime. But I think pretty much they've got this in the bag.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I have Ohio State, and the only one to pick anybody, not to ruin your picks, but the only one to not pick Oregon to win the Big Ten championship. Unfortunately, I think Ohio State is one of the best teams in the country, both offensively and defensively. They've shown that all season. And if Will Howard was able to slide a little bit earlier, they may have won that Oregon game as well, away, I may add. So I think that Oregon's one of the tougher places to play in college football, and they showed that they were able to deal with that environment and almost pull out a win. So at a neutral side, I think that Ohio State could win the Big Ten championship and then take the Big Ten in general.
Yeah, I'm not 100% confident in Oregon's ability to win this conference, but I did choose Oregon. And we do kind of forget that they did start off really slow at the beginning of the year with the first 2 games, and they just had their kind of clunker against Wisconsin. Hopefully they got it out of their system for the sake of my picks. I'm still going to go with Oregon, though. They got to bye Washington. They've already clinched for the Big Ten championship game. I'm going to go with Oregon.
I agree. It is tough because you got a lot of great teams in the Big Ten, alongside Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana. But
maybe.
Look, if it comes down between Oregon and Ohio State, which I think it will, I think the mental edge is just going to be a little too strong. So I'll say Oregon.
All right, moving to the Big 12 now. Wide open, as we mentioned earlier. Justin, who is your favorite?
Well, I think no doubt it's going to be Colorado versus BYU, and the Mormons versus the Kardashians. I have the Super Soakers winning the Big 12 championship.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, if that is Colorado, I would like to agree with you there. I think that Colorado takes this one between Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. They have a bunch of different weapons on offense. Their offensive line is still a point of contention, but they've been much improved since last season, and their defense has been surprisingly good this season. So I think Colorado has been extremely underrated. They weren't ranked until a few weeks back, but they've gotten off to a hot start the last couple weeks, and I think that they take the Big 12 championship.
So I think we got our second split here. I'm going to go with Colorado as well. I think that they are just better and they have a higher ceiling than BYU does. I think that they have a better quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and they obviously have potentially the best player in the nation, Travis Hunter. I think that they are still very well coached, despite what you might hear from the haters. Give me Colorado.
Yeah, I'll go with BYU with you, Justin. I think it is a pretty tough matchup when you're putting them against each other. I think that they could be it could be very close. That loss to Kansas, though, I mean, that is brutal. However, I am a hater at my core and in my heart, and I hate Colorado, so I will give it to BYU on that fact.
A lot of honesty in this segment.
What can you
Miami
do?
Glazer, Colorado, hater. That's Matthew Bracker.
I'm just taking a look inside myself and my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Profound stuff, really, actually.
Hey.
Okay, SEC now, Justin. Who do you got winning that conference?
I have Texas. They're really the only team in the SEC that's really impressed me because, SEC is always going to be good, but Texas has kind of gone above and beyond this year, so I have them.
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think that Texas has played anybody really that tough this season. I think that they're going to have a big test at Texas A&M, but I think Carson Beck and Georgia are going to be too much for them if they do play them in the SEC championship. Unfortunately, the SEC is a conference that is not very much up in the air. There's going to be 4 or maybe 5 teams that are going to be tied at 6-2 by the end of the season. And depending on the tiebreakers, Georgia might not even make the SEC championship. But if they do, I think they have the strength to beat any of the other teams that they'd be facing.
Yeah, I am a little bit scared about Texas. I was super high on them to go into the year, so I'm going to stick by that pick. But that Georgia game really, really scares me. That was a massacre, and then they obviously brought in Arch Manning at the end of the second quarter. That was just an overall terrible performance, terrible coaching. I'm very worried if they have a rematch in the playoffs. But I don't think that they'll play in the SEC championship game. Man, it's getting complicated out here. I'm trying to figure out who's going to which championship game. But if they can keep it through the regular season and the postseason, obviously, and get to the SEC championship game and not play Georgia, give me Texas.
Yeah. No, like I said, SEC is tough. I think that I'll pick Georgia here. We already saw in a head-to-head what Georgia can do against Texas. Right now it's slated Texas and Texas A&M for the championship game. I don't think that will be the case. I think it will be Texas and Georgia. I'll take Georgia.
Well, because they play next week, so it might be difficult. I really
it's gonna be
have
one
to
or the
take
other.
another look at who is slotted to
We were
jump
talking about it yesterday. SEC
Ole Miss,
is tough to pick.
Alabama, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Some sort of tiebreakers. Yeah. Let's move to the national championship pick. We all made brackets. We all have our bracketology set up. Brackertology, okay. Justin Barnes, lay it all out there for me. Tell me who's your natty pick, who's winning each game. Show us your bracket.
Well, let's see here. I have Oregon winning the national championship. I'm just going to spoil it out, right? I have Oregon winning the national championship. I would love, as I said earlier, I would love to see Dylan Gabriel, I think, win the national championship. That'd just be really end to a storied career. Also, we'd have a Knight winning the national championship. That's fun. But you want to lay it out round by round?
Yeah, go on ahead.
Right.
Start out.
Okay, so first round I have Army versus Indiana. Now, Army would have to win against Notre Dame in order to get to the top 12. And I would just love to see a service team in the playoffs to begin with. But Army won us 2 World Wars. I'm pretty sure they can win against Notre Dame. So I have Army and Indiana in the first round. I think Indiana takes that one. Next, I have Ole Miss and Alabama. I think Ole Miss takes that one. Alabama, Jaden Milroe's been good, but they haven't impressed me as much as Ole Miss does. So Dart versus Milroe, I have Dart. Boise State and Penn State in the next game. Genty's going to take them to the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But in that matchup, Penn State is just they're Power 5 team. They're probably going to beat Boise State. Next, I have Notre Dame versus Ohio State. I have Ohio State. I don't think Notre Dame is all as chalked up to be. They've always been they've been overhyped, I think, every year since I've been alive. So I have Ohio State in that one. And going on to the quarterfinals, I have Indiana versus Brigham Young. I think Indiana probably wins that one as well. I know we're in the Big 12, but the Big 12 has just been really weak this year. So I have Indiana beating them.
I see that.
Next, I have Ole Miss and Oregon. I already showed my hand that Oregon was going to win the national championship. So I think Oregon wins against Ole Miss. Next, I have Penn State versus Miami. And sorry, Andrew, but I'm pretty sure that Penn State is going to win. They've been in a weak conference. Let's be real. ACC is not as good as it used to be. And if you fold against Georgia Tech, I think you have some things coming your way. So I think Penn State beats Miami. Next, Ohio State and Texas. I have Texas beating Ohio State. Moving on to the semifinals, I have Indiana and Oregon. Again, Oregon's going to win. I think they're the best team in college football right now. On the other side, I have Penn State and Texas. I think Texas is going to win. That could go either way, honestly, in my opinion. But I've seen more from Texas, and they have that. I don't know if you want to call it a dual threat at quarterback, but they have 2 quarterbacks that are both very good. So I'll take them. So national championship, Oregon versus Texas. I have Oregon.
Yeah, for
we'll keep it to key matchups here, Andrew.
Yeah, okay. So for my college football playoff, I'll start with the semifinal. Ohio State versus Oregon. I think we're going to have a rematch of the Big Ten Championship, in which I have Ohio State pulling it out again, and then I will have Miami versus Georgia on the other side of the bracket. I think that Georgia will be too much for Miami. That defense is too good, and Miami's offense can only withstand so much, leading to Ohio State versus Georgia in the national championship game, which I have Ohio State. Carson Beck has looked suspect this year. I think that Ohio State is just the overall better team, and I have Ohio State winning the national championship.
Yeah, I have Boise State getting one of those automatic buys. I got Miami winning the conference, obviously, like we talked about, Texas and Oregon. Now, a key matchup for me is I have Texas and Georgia playing. I chose to go with Texas, but I'm not confident in that whatsoever. And I also have a rematch with Oregon, Ohio State. Now, this graphic is not correct, but I will ride with it too. I will say Notre Dame
doing a bit.
Flying under the radar right now.
Okay.
Nobody's talking. They're easy schedule. The whole way, they're dominating every team that they play. I mean, sucks. Where would they be ranked if they didn't lose to NIU? I'm just saying.
That is true.
They could be like 2.
Yeah.
They could
they'd be up there.
3? Yeah, they'd be up there. All right, but I got Notre Dame down there. I'm just saying, watch out. I think that they're not an easy out. Although I do have them playing Georgia in the first round and losing to Georgia. But still, I digress. That's Georgia. It's different. But if they were to play like Penn State, Colorado.
Right.
I even think Tennessee, I think they got it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, Notre Dame, they're up. I actually have them in my first round beating Tennessee. But some key matchups here. Obviously, Boise gets that bye. I think BYU is going to finish under them and win the conference. Semifinals, Ohio State, Oregon. Like I said, I think that Oregon has a mental edge. I think that they will take it. Georgia and Miami in the semifinals. I think Miami will take it. I am a Miami Glazer, so let's just see what happens. And so that's a natty of Oregon and Miami, which I think is best case scenario. Like, that would be a really fun matchup. That's a really good quarterback duel, but I'll take Oregon. I think it's Dylan Gabriel's time.
Really terrible jersey matchup though for the national championship
ugly,
game.
very ugly.
Both are green, or teal, I guess. A little
Remember
bit.
those old Oregon jerseys, that like neon green? It just said like O-R.
It's kind of what I wore in middle school.
Oh, was it?
The neon
I
green.
could
or the
see
highlighter
that.
green.
Yeah.
Or the yellow.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, we're going to move on because we have a very special goodbye. Justin, this is your last episode here at Hitting the Field. We would like to give you the floor. You've been a great servant for Hitting the Field and for Nighttime. Is there anything you would like to say?
Yeah, I'm just going to be real with you guys. This is probably the first time I've ever enjoyed going to school. So, and I owe it to you guys. I wish I found this program earlier. It's I would have loved to get involved at, when I got here, because I transferred here. So in junior year, if I, maybe I could have been hosting Nighttime with you next year, Matthew.
Maybe.
But I've enjoyed every moment here, and I just want to thank you guys for letting me hog the camera so much.
Of course, you've been, every time you come on, you're very hardworking. You provide a lot of great college football insight, and we always love having you on the show. You haven't been around for a long time, but you've been around for a good time. So thank you for everything, really, truly. But that's going to do it for this segment and for college football, college sports talk as a whole. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Justin Barnes, once again. Congrats on graduating, man. But we're going to get a little serious, a little somber, which is something we rarely do here on Nighttime. I know that.
But before we get
to that. Oh, right. How could I forget?
Yes, it is chicken time.
I was trying to escape.
We have calculated, thank you so much, Daniel Valdez, for calculating the records of the Game of the Week picks that we've had. I ended up an amazing and impressive 6-5. He ended up being 5-6, so he is the chicken time loser. Now, we do have an extra game that we did want to pick, Indiana, Ohio State.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Indiana just for the miracle of it.
So we're going to be tied.
Just for the spirit of it. He's going with Ohio State.
I'll go with Ohio State.
Chicken time.
I think that Ohio State will not blow them out. I think they'll keep it close, but I'll take Ohio State here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Indiana. Windiana. Coach Sig. I don't really know how much they can compete with the roster that Ohio State has, but I like the vibes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on that. And I wouldn't have to wear the chicken hat next week, so I don't mind picking Indiana.
I'm sure you wouldn't. But, okay, like I said, it's time to get a little somber and serious, which is something that rarely happens here on Nighttime. We're gonna be saying goodbye to a beloved Hitting the Field member, my co-host, Patrick Previty. It's time for Patrick Previty's Greatest Hits. You ready?
Yep, ready.
Let's do it.
I'm doing pretty well. I've been preparing for this moment for a long time now, and I'm glad to be on.
A whole hour. Let's do this. We're gonna give a nice OHIO. This is actually not gonna work.
I'm concerned for Camden's handwriting. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's not getting an OHIO. He's. Oh my God. Can you feel it? For a chance?
I feel you doing it on my face.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Let me get the.
Pretty good finals. They lost in pod, though.
Yeah, it's delicious. You pay. It's an expensive dinner, you know. Money doesn't grow on trees out here.
Thanks. What's for dessert?
Creme brulee. So we're talking Bears at Bucks this weekend.
Patrick, how does it feel to be the new co-host of Nighttime?
It feels great. I was on for just about every episode last season, and when I heard that Tyler Brownrigg was hitting the transfer portal, I thought that there was no better opportunity than this show. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to have such a great co-host and Maddie Glass to help me along the way.
You want to talk about Chris Jones?
Well, Chris Jones has a very infamous moment in the combine. He ran it with 3 legs, I suppose one might say. Also, I believe.
What does that mean?
I believe also Cameron Kmetz mentioned that he's the only player to get a sack in the 40-yard dash.
He is just amazing. And
wait, can I stop you there?
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw a pity party for a guy with one arm. He did enough. He was a great player, but he's not going to end up on UCF's Mount Rushmore just because he was able to do everything with one arm. Like, he was a great player, but is he going to be on UCF's Mount Rushmore? For UCF football, there's so many great players. I can't just put him on the Mount Rushmore just because of that, but you can continue.
So this is like the history of the school that's like left for me.
Absolutely not.
But see, that's where.
That's sorry.
How dare you?
I did not mean to do that. I'm so sorry.
all right, pineapple on pizza thoughts.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Can you get the mic a little bit out of my mouth, bro? Pause.
Yeah, there
And
you
last
go.
week I got the
There
game
you go.
wrong, so I have to wear the chicken hat
Yeah, you do.
to make this pick.
There you go. Yeah. You want to start?
I am your host, Patrick Previty, and you are watching the UCF pregame show presented to you by UCF Athletics and the Hitting the Field Network.
Don't know me, my name is Jared Fox. If you do know me, you probably know me as the King. But today we're talking about a different king, and that is Patrick Previty. Patrick, listen, man, you were literally the king of nighttime. When I first got there, it was you and it was Matty Glass, and you guys absolutely ran nighttime. Now, they're going to have to find someone to fill your shoes, brother, and it's going to be hard because every time I would come on nighttime, you were always prepared, always professional, always super easy to talk to. And if we ever come to pass, you know, in our professional career, I would be absolutely thrilled because you are always a pleasure to be around on camera and off camera. Just a genuinely good guy. Everyone in HTF knows it. All of your friends, all of your family know it. We all know you're going to be successful after you graduate, and I just can't wait to see where your path leads to. So, brother, cheers to you, and cheers to your graduation, man. Congrats.
Hi, Patrick. I just wanted to say congratulations on graduating. Hosting Nighttime with you my last semester was some of the most fun I ever had at Hitting the Field. And you're just so talented and easy to work with and smart and fun to work with. So I'm really proud of you and the rest of the Nighttime crew for how well it's done and how amazing and all the things you guys are doing. So congratulations on that and graduating, and I can't wait to see what else you accomplish.
And that is Patrick Previty's greatest hits. Andrew has something he wants to say first, so we're just going to toss it over to Andrew first. Andrew.
Yeah. So on a really genuine note, Pat, you've been one of my best friends since I've gotten to college, from like rushing your fraternity to all the other stuff that we do outside of hitting the field. I really appreciate you. You've been like one of the biggest inspirations, and I'm happy to have you as a best friend, a big, and like someone I can always like come to. So I appreciate you. You're going to be really missed around hitting the field, and I don't really know what the program's going to look like without you next semester. So I mean, I appreciate everything you've done for me, and yeah, that's kind of all I got.
Thank you. The program's a machine. I know everybody's going to be in good hands with the new EPs. Plus, Nighttime, I know, will continue turning in great content. Thank you so much, Andrew. Obviously, like, you know, when we met, I was like, yo, you got to be my little. You got to, like, slide to HTF. In that first semester, it was a little rough juggling both of those for you. I'm not going to lie. But then, you know, I auditioned for Nighttime, and he was the guest that I chose. And he killed it. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little worried because he did so well. I was worried that they were just going to be like, hey, do you want to audition? Like, just go on and, like, get it. But he was actually so great. Now, one of the Betts boys and just killing it. Andrew, Greg, remember the name. Big things to come for sure. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Betts is going great. And, you know, I just want to say thank you for being my co-host and all of this. You know, when I auditioned, I really did want Nighttime because I really wanted someone I could just riff off of and, you know, work with. And, you know, I think I got that and more. And this show would be, you know, genuinely nothing without you. You show up every single day in pre-production and just everything, and you work 100% and more. And I'm gonna miss you a lot.
I'm gonna miss you too, Matthew. You took your talents. You know, you had your pick. You had your pick of wherever to go, and you chose Nighttime. I will literally forever be in debt to you for making that decision. And I know Justice feels the same way. This whole crew that we've been able to create this semester has been something like I'm so proud of, and I'm so happy to be your co-host, actually, Matthew. And it just means the world. LeBron James coming to the Heat, the Heatles, buddy. Oh my God.
Well, I'd say we're more like 2017 Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I would be. We're the Splash Bros.
Yeah, we're the Splash Bros. And then, yeah, exactly.
Dude, Justice is Draymond Green. Shay's KD.
And
joining midway
Danny
through.
Steve Kerr. And Danny Steve Kerr.
Austin.
But
DeMarcus Cousins.
No, DeMarcus Cousins. Yes. Yes. I was going to say Sean Livingston.
Andrew Gregg. And Kathleen. Sean Livingston never missed a jumper.
Exactly.
Andrew Gregg never missed an appearance.
I can't keep going through the list.
He was late a couple times.
It was 2017. It was 8 years ago. But we do want to bring on Justice real quick, Justin and Shay, because this show would be nothing without, and shout out Danny. This show and Austin, and just everyone who has worked,
Yeah.
everyone who has worked on this show, because this has been my favorite thing to do at UCF, and not to make this about me, but
Oh,
it's-
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
of
here we
course.
go.
Classic Matthew.
But
Till the final minute.
It's all of you guys, and do you guys have anything you want to say?
I just want to. I didn't prepare anything because it's so crazy to me that it's already over.
Mhm.
But I just want to appreciate the hard work you both put in. You are going to be an incredible just person in the sports industry. I know it for a fact.
Yeah.
Our wavelengths really match from the beginning, and I think I'm really proud what we were able to accomplish.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Goes back to those spring meetings when you were the assistant producer. We were just like talking about what we wanted the show to be. So it's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am just really happy I got to meet you and hitting the field. It's been so fun, and I love being a part of Nighttime, and I just am really happy that you put so much trust in me with the show, and I just super appreciate it, and I hope you're going to get to do great things.
Thank you. Hey, I sure hope so too. And you earned it. I mean, you earned it every step of the way. Actually, I'm so happy that you guys been a part of the team.
Thank
you. My two morning goons
you're
doing
like-
yeah. I'm so happy y'all could join up here too.
You guys, everyone here has put in so much work to make the show possible. We've, really changed the fabric of what I feel like an HCF show can be. And, the face right here. Such a nice thing.
All right, we can get out of here. All right. Thank you to everyone who has been able to make this show happen. For one final time, thank you, Justice Covert, Big Play Shay, for Matthew Bracker, I'm Patrick Previty. That's all.